within that tradition that is contained in the Necronomicon, there isn't a leeway. The things that you summon to protect you can very easily turn on you. If they are offended, they can become as bad or sometimes worse than what you were trying to get rid of in the first place. It is a tricky, sometimes you would call it neutral form, but it's predatory. It's definitely predatory. I wouldn't call the tradition itself evil. I would call it extremely predatory. You are, by virtue of using it, saying, I am competent. You are making the choice. If you prove not to be, then you are also saying, I have accepted, even though maybe you're not happy with the results, you're accepting the outcome. I personally, in the way that I was taught it, will not use it, will not use that form of tradition unless I am given no other option. Now, this is not to say that it's better, but it is extremely harsh. And there are times that to affect a situation or to target a particular individual who is extremely high level, who has surrounded themselves by entities and intelligences that are extremely susceptible to the tradition of the Necronomicon, because that's who it was designed solely to go after or to banish, that I am forced to use it. It's sort of like the last resort. I know how to work it. I study it. I do the appropriate energetic work so that when and if I have to use it, I will. But it's not something that I do much, and after I do, I go through all the purification rites, because I don't want those, even the quote-unquote helpful entities can be problematic. And they're so potent that sometimes it's too potent. And the backlash, which isn't even a backlash because I've performed what I'm supposed to do, sometimes is pretty unsettling. And so be very careful. Now, the way that I was taught it is, this, for me, actually comes through Haiti. And one of my major mentors was Ahungana Sogwe, which was, or is, the highest level voodoo priest. So, in Haiti, you have Bokors, you have other individuals who are not necessarily part of the voodoo cult, but magic, occult, very powerful there. They come from some very dark sources as well as some powerfully beautiful sources, all kind of mismatched. You have a lot of French alchemy that move through, you have a lot of grimoires, ceremonial magics there. There's even a group of Haitian druids, weirdly enough, where Madame Brigitte, or Breed from Ireland, came through with the Irish indentured servants, and they really liked her, and in order for her to stay, the marriage of Madame Brigitte, who was Breed, who became Madame Brigitte in Haiti, was married off to the Baron Samedi. Now, in the story of this particular group, this particular tradition, Ogwe, who is a Loa of the sea, took his gigantic boat called the Imomoyu back to Ireland to pick up the Dagda, who is, in this tradition, Breed's father, to marry her off to Baron Samedi. So big was the Dagda, he's quite large, he almost capsized the Imomoyu, which is this pristine, unimaginably huge ocean liner. Also, in part of the story, there's a protagonist, and this is like a mystery story, so there's not a whole much I can give, but there's a big storm that tries to prevent this to happen, this marriage to happen. The Dagda, who is extremely large in all ways, dangles his dick over the side of the Imomoyu to act as an anchor. While it's being an anchor, the sometimes lover, wife of Agwe, La Sarine, swims around the Dagda's dick, and all the other sea life follows her as sort of a homage back to the maypole in Ireland, where the girls dance around this huge phallic symbol, creating sensation for the Dagda to ejaculate, and a species of fairy water spirit is born that is worked with within this tradition, which oddly, I seem to know the stories of. Wink, wink. So, I was taught a tradition of the Necronomicon through Haiti because the very serious Bokors, dark black magicians, used the calls to summon the Transplatonian entities. Because they're so alien and so bizarre, a lot of the Loa didn't always know how to handle them. And so there was a better chance that even though you had very powerful Loa protections, you could still get someone because of the strange entities that this would summon. They did, however, turn around and learn the tradition to banish them, to get rid of them. So most of the Hungana Sogwes are actually taught a tradition of the Necronomicon. Weird, but absolutely true. So, yes, it is a part of the house. Yes, I do understand it. I do know it. I do know the ins and outs of it. Something that you need to be step by step by step. If you're interested in that, trust me when I say you want a very powerfully built up and established connection with the middle pillar. You're going to want that because that's going to keep you sane. That's going to keep you healthy. And that's going to make you a very difficult target for anything. And to work into this particular style of magic is where like the Kabbalah, you can kind of stumble around in the dark a little bit and get your footing, and then things are going to afford you the chance to kind of figure it out. They're going to cut you some leeway. In the Necronomicon tradition of magic, stumbling around in the dark, you're stumbling around in a place that's full of broken glass, hypodermic needles, death traps, pitfalls, murder holes. You just need to understand that stumbling around within the tradition of the Necronomicon is absolute madness and folly. Complete insanity. You need to be focused. You need to understand it. You need to do as it tells you to do, and you need to be working with it from the aspect of protecting yourself, not working with Transplatonian entities who, we talk about reptilian entities, perhaps the only thing worse. And there is a merger, and a lot of the Illuminati current deals with Transplatonian entities because they are very willing to tell you what you want to what you think you want to hear. They're very willing to be part of a power system, and they're very willing to help change the planet, change the mind frame, make people delusional and crazy. Now we have groups of people that want to commit whole fucking genocide and block out the sun. This is insanity. But actual programs taking place because of the mental connections, because they have taken root in the minds of powerful men and driven them mad. And wow. So I'm going to give out my email so people can actually email me, and that is going to be my final word on the Necronomicon for a very long time.